Another Joe with us, Joe Borelli. We love Joe Borelli, Minority Whip of the New York City Council, Republican nominee for public advocate, and a great guy, a superstar on the rise. Joey,
and in studio.
You look. By the way, can we go here? Can we be completely honest? Your hair looks good. Your hair looks good, man. Did you put the stuff in there?
I put the stuff in. I put my topics in the morning. Although, I'm getting a haircut today at like 2 or 3 o'clock. So I think my barber is going to be able to tell. I think he's going to start thumbing through my strands of hair and realize that all that glitters is not gold, as they say.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know.
Have they sponsored yet? Topics?
No, they should.
When the oil burners kicked in, some flex got in your head.
I didn't know when we first went to Fox News, and then they have these great makeup artists at Fox News, and they start putting stuff in your hair, and you go, "Wow, my hair looks actually good." And then what is that? They have something called what is
Bumble
that?
and Bumble.
Yeah, is that another one?
Oh, I know all the products, Joe. Any product that puts hair where there is none, I certainly know the name of it, where it's produced.
Style Edit. There's another one. There's another one they put in. They put the stuff in the hair. They make it. But you have a sheen in your hair, Joe. You look very good there.
It's the morning. I want to be, broadcasting my full head of hair to everyone I see today. It's good. Good morning.
Bright-eyed and bushy
You be
hair.
like Al, who did not care about anything.
He keeps looking at my head like Frank's face. It must be a Staten Island thing.
I know.
That's what it is.
I would be so embarrassed if you walked next to me with that purple hair.
Would you really?
Al, I love
Come
you.
around. We talked off air. Come Friday night. I'm going to be
Friday night. You want me to go to a bar in my neighborhood and stay with you with that
walking
purple
distance.
hair?
Is it walking
with that
distance?
purple hair? No way, Jose. They'll think they get the wrong idea of me.
Joe, they don't have purple topics either. And like Debbie's texting me now. Style Edit. You're right, Debbie. X-Fusion is good. X-Fusion's another one. X-Fusion powder is good.
I don't need to worry about that.
But why didn't you just, rather than get a whole dye job, and correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, we'll get to politics in a
thought
second.
your midlife crisis was last year. No. I thought, okay. No. So it's this year. We're in it. We're in the thick of it.
People who have Hodgkin's lymphoma. Purple is the color.
Oh, is that what that is?
Hodgkin's lymphoma. That's why I did it.
No one's going to stand long enough listening to him.
That's the good
even
point.
Hear the explanation as to why this is a lovely thing.
Very good.
Oh man. Hey, Joe Borelli, how are you, Joey? Oh, good. You had a nice little break. You went away, which you don't usually go away anywhere.
I try to go away all the time, actually.
No.
I just can't afford it. I just can't afford it. If I could, I would, though. But yeah, we took the family, grandma, grandpa, little Johnny, little Joey. We all went to St. Martin and enjoyed a couple days in the sun.
This is great. Now, and Easter was good for you guys in the Borelli household?
Easter was very good.
Did you cook? Did you make the sauce yourself?
No, my mother made a wonderful
Your mom's
pork
great,
roast.
by the way. We send love. Send love to your mom.
She made a lovely pork roast. And then I had a second dinner at my sister-in-law's house and pretended like I didn't eat the first dinner. But I certainly did. And then I took a nap. So it was a nice Easter.
Hey, so tell me about Mayor de Blasio's Green New Deal. Now, apparently, no glass on buildings.
Oh, it's great. Yeah,
did he really actually say that?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna ban glass and steel skyscrapers. So next time you look up, you are seeing the dinosaurs of a different era. These glass and steel skyscrapers, which we've been doing for the last, say, 70 years. I mean, you think about it. I mean, the innovation of steel in construction literally changed everything there was about New York City. Finally, buildings could be built vertically. The invention of the elevator added to this. Now Mayor de Blasio, because he's just in this struggle to appear as far left as humanly possible, is going to ban glass and steel skyscrapers. Be clear about what this is. This is a field of 2020 Democrats who are trying to outflank each other. And Bill de Blasio, crazy as he is saying, wait, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. I'm going to ban glass and steel skyscrapers.
What do you do, like Flintstones? We're going to do like the Flintstones, all stone? I mean,
I'm going to come back in 2 weeks. We're going to be doing this out of a mud hut somewhere,
Mud huts is great. Hey, we had Assemblyman David DiPietro.
Wonderful guy. I heard the interview.
Yeah, he had nice things to say about you. So you could divide New York into 3 different regions. I'm listening to Assemblyman DiPietro break this down. It's making sense to me because you really get left out. If you're upstate, New York is running pretty much everything.
Joe, Dave DiPietro is a great guy to highlight this point. He's a guy who's a small business owner. He owns a couple of laundromats in upstate New York. And the environmental regulations that this guy has to jump through just to keep his front door open is almost it makes more sense for him to just pack in and leave. And unfortunately, for so many people in Western New York, so many people, as he pointed out in the southern tier, they are just packing up and leaving. And the government that they have that represents them has almost no no bearing on what the people of Western New York, Southern Tier, the Adirondack region, has no bearing on what they actually want, need, or deserve out of government. So I would even support their movement. Look, I am a Staten Island secessionist. You know, I am,
man.
I'm like the Robert E. Lee of Staten Island. I mean, you probably can't say that anymore. But, you know, I'm someone who believes that Staten Island has been left out of the decisions at City Hall that matter to its constituents and its people, and we should look at secession also.
Hey, so what happened? I saw this big article with your picture in the New York Post on Sunday, all about
how full did my hair look? How full? They got a great picture. They got a great.
It was a great picture. It was on sanitation.
I look like a mob boss in that picture.
Don't say that. Don't say that, please. You're a fine young Italian American, but what's about the sanitation test and your attempts to expose cheating? What was that all about?
So we had a whistleblower come to us about the
come to us.
They came to my office and me personally, and said that they had the exam that sanitation supervisors needed to take a test to get promoted. And sure enough, the person sent me the copy of the test, and it was the actual test. And people had the copies of the test prior to the exam date. And you know, you would think that this is something our Department of Investigation, whose only job it is to investigate corruption in the city of New York, you would think they would have jumped all over this right away, but couldn't even get a call back. Couldn't even get a call back from the agency. That's why one of the things I want to do as public advocate, if we don't abolish the office in its entirety, is to put the Department of Investigation under the purview of the public advocate, or make the public advocate the effective commissioner of investigation. Make somebody who's not tied to the City Hall administration, make somebody who's independently elected, actually be the one to investigate the problems of that administration.
How's that going? Your whole
it's going well. I'm going to win this one. It's a tough race, Joe. I'm just kidding with you, Joe. Joe, it's going to be a tough race. Look, my opponent has a 6-1 or 7-1 enrollment benefit. It's going to be a tough race to win, but you know what? We're going to have to talk about issues. We're going to have to talk about changing the office. We're going to have to talk about the uncomfortable things, like once again respecting the taxpayers of the city of New York, who fund just about everything. We had a whole debate over congestion pricing, and believe me, it is a solution to a real problem. The subways are crumbling. But the person that was left out of the conversation, the person that always seems to be left out of the conversation, are the middle-class taxpayers. I can tell you firsthand, we sit at City Hall, we make policy. The last person on our mind is Joe taxpayer.
Yeah, it's very, very true. And then I thought about getting an apartment in New York because I'm always at a hotel. Joe, it's so pricey. How do regular people afford to live here?
Because we have this Green New Deal of New York City here, which is going to add $1 billion to the real estate industry and require every building to retrofit itself. So the good news is you buy in now before that happens, and you'll probably get a better deal than the astronomical cost of owning a Manhattan apartment in a couple of years.
Or just move to Staten Island.
Move to Staten Island. We have great pizza. We have great food. You know, I know you're picky, Joe. I know you're picky, but there is a culinary delightful cornucopia of choices for you to come to Staten Island. I mean, it's not too far.
I love I love it. Hey, Joe, before I let you go, seriously, the NYPD does a stellar job. Crime is at an all-time low in this great city, and it really is the safest big city in the world, and certainly in the United States of America. Why is transit crime going up in New York City?
Well, we've sort of given up the line. You know, we used to hold the line at paying your fare, obeying the most basic of rules for the New York City subway and buses. But now you see that we no longer go after prosecuting people who beat the fare. We no longer even enforce the rules that you have to pay a few dollars to get on the bus. And then we wonder why people use the transit as a means of perpetrating further crimes. It is okay for us to just simply say the rules need to be followed and people need to be held accountable. But you would think that by saying that, I was, the devil incarnate, as though that's essentially how Democrats believe. I mean, they believe that everyone should just get a pass, everything should be free, and if you break a law, it's probably the law's fault and not the person's fault.
Joe Borelli right there, Councilman, doing such a great job, Minority Whip of the New York City Council, public advocate. How can people support you?
You go to josephborelli.com. Very simple.
josephborelli.com. Debbie Duham is out there. Debbie, what do you think? See, Joe and I see with that. Look at that. You can't tell the topic. Look at
Looks good. It's
he
working.
The
puts
lights
his-
are a
he
little
puts his head.
strong, though.
He's
The
like
lights-
Ron Popeil. Remember Ron Popeil with that spray thing?
GLH.
That was
Great
it,
looking
that was
head.
it. No. We've advanced so much since GLH, right, Deb? It's been like all those
There's
little,
so much help now. It's great, you know.
all those things you can put in your hair. 7:52. Deb's out there. Thank you, Joey Borelli. Deb, how we doing out there traffic wise on AM 970?